right, hi everybody. How you doing out there? We are back. We are back for another Monday lesson. So excited to get back in here with you guys and continue sharing, continue helping you guys grow, continue to connect with you guys over here. We create, we educate, we connect over here, all right? And the only direction is up. So let's continue to go higher, all right? But you know the drill. Before we do, hit that subscribe button for me. You can either hit the subscribe button down below, or hit that watermark in the bottom right hand side of the screen there, and you can subscribe and make sure that notification bell is on. As you know, we got interviews, we got lessons, we got content coming out, music being released, covers coming out, whole lot of stuff happening here on the page. So I want you to be up to date on everything that is going on, all right? So what are we talking about today? As you saw, we are talking about intros. Intros. And I love working on intros. I love good intros as a producer, right? As a producer, as a creative, I love intros, all right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna talk and I'm gonna demonstrate today, okay? So we're gonna talk about intros from a studio / production perspective, and then I'm gonna talk to you from a live perspective. I'm gonna try to equate some things to other genres, but I'm gonna be, of course, catering to a lot of my gospel community on this one, okay? Talking about what we can do in churches, but we are gonna spend some time talking about R&B as well, okay? Not gonna do too much demonstration on R&B just because I did not prep any. Sorry. But I'm going to talk about some things you can do for sure to enhance your production, enhance your live show, your live sessions, and things like that. All right? Are you ready? If you didn't hit that subscribe button, you're not ready. So I'm going to give you a few more seconds. Here we go. All right. Let's get started. So, intros. What is an intro? An intro is exactly what it sounds like, an introduction. All right, it sets up the song. All right, now, years ago, to play intro, what did you do? You played the last part of the song, you played the refrain, you played the chorus maybe, and then you went to the 1, or you went to this 5 chord that was nice and pretty, and boom, start of the song, right? Here comes the verse, here comes the starting chorus, whatever's going on, right? That was the intro for everything, right? In your live sessions, in your studio sessions, right? It would either be the like chorus or the refrain part, or you would just kind of vamp on the 1, vamp on the 5 or whatever, just get the groove going, and then we would start, right? Not so much the case anymore. Things have evolved, so people like to take you on a journey now, right? A lot of producers, a lot of creatives like to take you on a journey. I'm one of those people, right? I do cater to the old way of doing things sometimes. It still fits, it still has its place, but when I create an intro, I want to grab you. I want to set the song up without giving the song away, right? I want to create something that kind of gets to the point in a sense, but it keeps you kind of on the edge of your seat, like, okay, where are we going with this? What's about to happen, right? So let's talk about in the production world intros a second, right? In your intro, you have about 30 seconds to kind of get it knocked out, right? Radio play, we're looking for 3.5 minutes, roughly 3.5, 4 minutes. 4 minutes being the long side, right? 3.5 minutes is what you're looking at. So you got about 30 seconds, a minute on the long hand to get to the point, right? Now, us in the gospel world, our songs tend to be longer anyway, just a little bit than like some of your R&B or rap songs, right? That can be 2.5 to 3.5 minutes. In the gospel world, we're looking at 3 to 4, 5 minutes on average, right? We got intros, you got verses, we got, second verse, chorus, vamp, bridge, all this stuff, right? We have a story to tell. But about 30 seconds is what you're looking at, right? So the challenge is figuring out how to set the song up, how to keep it interesting, in that time frame and how to make it make logistical and musical sense, right? You don't want to do something crazy and then boom, just jump to the song, right? You want to make sure that things connect. All right? So I'm going to leave these links down in the description below. Please go check these songs out. These are songs by great local artists here in the St. Louis area. One of them being Corn Robinson Jr., the other one being Steward Stiles. Okay, so I've produced a couple songs for these artists, and starting with Corn Robinson, he has a song called The Well. The Well, okay? So I'm going to play it for you. Just play the intro. Okay, so in that intro, kind of like the click kind of started off, right, the loop. And of course, nowadays we're using drum loops, whether it be a XR20 or MPC or MPC Live, or whether you make your loops in Logic or Pro Tools or whatever you do, you got to have that click track, right? And so the thing with this one, I want it to be open, right? I want the intro to be real open. By the way he starts, he likes to play his guitar, right? Likes the verse to be really, I want to really feature him, but I don't want to fully give it away, right? So that's why, you know, everything is kind of like there's no shaker, there's no consistent time source in there, right? It's kind of like this open arena, this open microcosm of sound, and then we have a nice little piano melody there, right? And the melody's like its own thing, but doesn't really give the rest of the song away, right? If you don't know the song, please go check it out. The link I said is in the description below, so go check that guy out. But it doesn't fully give it away, right? It sets it up without giving it away. And so that's what I want to encourage you guys to do out there. There's a lot of young producers out here, a lot of fresh producers out here that are producing for new and upcoming artists, right? They're trying to get their songs out. So, you know, I challenge you to get creative. I want to hear what comes out of your production in a way that kind of sets a song up. The other one, like I said, is Steward Stiles, right? So he has a song called The Sound of Victory. If you don't know what it is, check this out.
There is a sound of worship. It is birthed out of spirit and truth. There is a sound of praise for the people of God to raise. It is a sound we are.
All right. So in this song, it's a little interesting because from a musical standpoint, right, it's almost like the whole intro into the first verse is like the intro almost, right? Because once you listen to the full thing, again, description and link below. I'm sorry, link in the description below. I don't know what's wrong with me, excuse me. If you listen to the second verse, there's a different groove there, right? The first verse is just these hits. So we still kind of set it up, but we don't really get into the groove, into the chorus, right? So again, set the song up without giving it away. And then we still kind of say, oh, you know, here's this hit, like, oh, you know. So intros are really fun. And so if you haven't watched my video on production tips, go check that out. I do believe it's lesson number 11, if I'm not mistaken. And I talk about tips to make you a better producer, especially when working for other artists, like producing for other artists. And one of the main things I talk about is like, you got to catch that vision of the artist. Catch their vibe, but catch their vision for the project or for the song, right? And so then it's up to you to get creative and say, boom, what can set the song up? What can, you know, draw the listener in to keep listening to what's happening? Because on average, when it's a new song, you got about 30 to 45 seconds to really grab them, or else you lost them. more often than not, right? So you want to create something that kind of sets the song up, but doesn't give it away. Okay, so that's my admonishment. That's my challenge to you out there. When you're producing, when you're setting stuff up, even if it's instrumental, right? Even if it's an R&B record, if it's a jazz record, right? One of the things we like to do in jazz is pedal the five, right? We love to do that, or let the drummer set it up, or let the pianist do some kind of intro or whatever. But a lot of times in the jazz world, we can call it. But if you have an original tune out there, I'll challenge you. Get creative and make up an intro that kind of will set it up but not give it away. That will lead it in and draw it in, right? Same with your R&B records. I love live arrangements like Nerdy Tunes, Fifth Flow, all of those guys, Red Camp. Like, I love live arrangements, and what these guys do to some of these records, man, are nuts. So don't be afraid to draw from what's already out there, right? Go check it out, see what they do, see what you can adapt and add your own flavor to, right? So that's kind of the key in my approach to intros in a studio setting, is to really set the song up without giving it away. And sometimes I have, different approaches to it. It can be something simple like the examples I gave, or, I'm a huge fan of Aaron Lewis and like James Fortune, Ty Tribbett. So sometimes I take that approach with like the hits and the runs and all of that, just to really make the listener go, what is happening? What did I just get myself into? Somebody help. And then boom, here comes the verse. And it's just like, oh, okay, I can get with this, right? So adapt that to your playing. Now, let's cross over into the live aspect of things, right? So I kind of, sometimes when I have that freedom, I like to take that same approach into a live setting, right? Setting the song up, but not giving it away. And why do I do that? As a music director, as a musician, as a minister, I think about the visitor first, right? I want to, a lot of times like in church settings, right, praise and worship comes first, right? You might open up with a song, open up with prayer or something like that, a scripture, depending on how your church is set up. But one of the first things that happens in service is praise and worship, right? And I want to be a part of creating an experience for the visitor. Experience for the churchgoer that says, man, I really enjoyed praise and worship today, but I also want to set it up for the word, right? I want to create an atmosphere that gets everybody involved, because that just creates a huge atmosphere that makes it easier on the preacher to really get everybody excited for the word. You just continue to build, right? And like Scripture tells us, to continue to go from glory to glory to glory, right? So in my playing, when I can, not only do I like to like arrange as much as possible in there just to give it a different sound, because I want to give the people something that they're not going to get on the record. All right, what is going to make this experience, especially nowadays where we have live stream services and pre-recorded things and all of that, right? What's going to make you want to come in and get that in-person experience the whole way through? Although we're talking about praise and worship now, it sets up the whole service. So what's going to make you want to come and get that experience versus playing a playlist at home, or skipping praise and worship altogether and coming in later on in the service, or whatever, right? And one of those things can just be creating a sound that just draws the listener in, and then you let the Spirit do the rest, right? So getting back to the music, it's in the intros, right, that you can really set things up. Even if you're going to play the rest of the record like the record, right? You can set it up and just create a vibe, create a sound that maybe you can come back to in the end, or create some kind of flow or some kind of groove that the praise team leader may kind of vibe off of, or something like that, just off the intro. So check out this example. I'm going to show you with a very, very, very common, well-known song in the gospel world, but with a slight twist at the beginning. Check it out. right? We all know that song. We all know that song, have heard it before, but may not have set up an intro like that, right? And I'm not saying you have to do that, but come up with something. Get creative, make it fun, right? We don't have to stick to the traditional way of doing things, right? And oftentimes, like coming up with different intros or coming up with different arrangements that may not be like the record may actually help the band sound a little more cohesive, because maybe some of you guys are just getting started and our ear's not there to really pick up all the nuances and all the details in the records just yet. So you can come up with something a little simpler or come up with something a little different that still, helps you guys sound like a unit and not sound like awkward or sound like beginners, but can still get the point across in those instances, right? So get creative in your intros, make it experience, make it vibe, right? Here's another song, right, that is very common in the gospel world that just has a slightly different intro to it, but can still set it up, right? So check it out. Right? So that was an example of creating an intro that's not like the one that's on the record, still sets the song up, doesn't give it away, but you can play that part of a song and then sometimes catch a flow in the back end of it, right? So those are some examples to just kind of motivate you to help you kind of get into that creative space and think about how can you take the band to the next level, how can you take your production to the next level in your intros. 30 seconds. 30 seconds can make or break a record, for real. And even like I just said, that was like in a gospel church setting, right? But R&B setting or a jazz setting, right? Like, what can you do that's going to be so different? Especially, if you're a new artist doing a whole bunch of cover stuff, what is going to make people want to check you out? What can you add to your band? What kind of flavor can you add? Maybe it's with intros, maybe it's with some background vocal arrangements or whatever you want to do. But while we're on the subject of intros, like, what can your band add that's going to be like, I really like so-and-so's version of doing this song, right? Like, yeah, we respect the R&B greats. If it's an old great, like, some of your James Brown, Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonders, Frankie Beverly's, cats like that, or some of your newer guys, Chris Brown, her, Jasmine Sullivan, Ed Sheeran, right? You can kind of almost put him into that category, pop, R&B, whatever. We respect those guys, and we definitely appreciate what they bring to the table. I know I've heard some things that were just like, man, of course I love this record, but the way so-and-so did it, I want to hear that again, right? So think about that. What's going to set you apart? What's going to elevate your production? What's going to elevate your package, right? What do you bring to the table that hasn't already been done before, or that's like a little different, that's going to set you apart and make people want to check out your record, your live show, attend your worship service, right? So get creative, get in the zone, come up with some stuff that's going to take you to that next level, because the only direction over here is up. We educate, we create, we connect, all right? So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you got inspired. Hopefully you learned some things that you can start applying to what you do on a daily basis, whether it's in the studio, whether it's at your church, whether it's with your band, right? Whether it's in your composition, right? What if you change the way that you just approach intros as a whole, whether it's film scoring, whether it's, country production, or whatever it is that you're getting into, right? Hopefully you got something new today. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you made it through this video, comment, I made it. If there's another thing that you do in your intro, comment. Comment. I would love to hear what you do and kind of grow and add to my arsenal, right? I'm here to help you, but I'm here to also learn from you too, all right? Again, if you have not subscribed to this channel, go ahead and do so. Make sure that notification bell is on. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like down there and share it with at least 10 people. All right, we are trying to grow. We're trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. All right, so be sure to check this out. Again, subscribe, like it, share with some people. All right, visit those songs in the description. We want to support our local artists. We want to support our upcoming indie artists. All right, so go give them a few spins, and I will see y'all next Monday.